right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honor to the apostles, bishops, elders, FGMS, shalom to you brothers that's preaching and teaching truth and sincerity across the four winds of the earth. And just real quick, right? Slack it. This quote from Trump, right? Right here. Let me take this off actually. Let me here. Close that out. Right. Now this from Trump, the quote, right? I want to get into a little bit. We'll just read it and then I'll get into what I'm gonna say. It says in April 2026, Donald Trump expressed a willingness to risk. All right, let me do this real quick. Right. A willingness to risk the giving up of my rights and privileges as a citizen to support the renewal of FISA Section 702, a government surveillance program, arguing it was necessary for national security and to support the military despite previously criticizing it as being used against him. Right? It says context. It says Trump urged U.S. Republicans to pass. It's like it. Trump urged Trump urged House Republicans to pass a clean extension of Section 702, which allows for warrantless spying on foreign targets and often collects data from Americans. It says the quote. It says on Truth Social, he wrote, "I'm willing to risk the giving up of my rights and privileges as a citizen for a great military and country." Right? So let's see. Let's see if we can get some things on this here. Because what does that sound like? Right? He's trying to obviously be an example. Right? He's trying to be the forerunner example to look, I'm giving up my rights, for the safety of America. You people should do that too. Right? So obviously there's going to be more FF, you ain't going to say the word, right? Attacks, right? So-called, war, or not war, but crimes and things happening on U.S. soil, right? To where they're going to be like, look, okay, it makes sense for you to give up your rights because look how bad America's getting, right? All these shootings and all these things are happening. Why don't we just give up a little bit of our rights so we can control this problem that's going on? Even though they're the people that's orchestrating the problems, but they're the people that's going to orchestrating the problems, but they're going to come up with the solution to save yourself from the problems that they're creating, or to save you from the problems that they're creating. You see, that's how they think, because I keep saying, I've been saying it more and more, the I mean, you don't even have to say the word, man. You keep saying the wrong or whatever. Besides the point, the totalitarian tiptoe, right? It's a video that I did where a particular guy was explaining it. So they're itching that every little thing that you see in the news, especially with the thing that happened at, well, I don't even know what his birthday, I don't know what it even was, but they was all at the White House, him and his, the co-workers, right? That follow the Rothschilds and listen to them as well. That's juiced in. They were there, right? They were there, and then the gunman. And I was gonna do a video about it, but I don't know. I still might, maybe. Who knows, right? But the gunman ran in there, ran past all the Secret Service, somehow shot him, did all that. He shot somebody apparently, but he ended up just being in handcuffs. Ran in with guns. Shot somebody, whoever it was, and then somehow walked away alive, right? Which, that doesn't even make sense. You got all these security checkpoints, all this surveillance cameras. You have top, probably, bodyguards and ex-Marines, and you have all these people in that building, and somehow some man managed to get in there, run with the gun out, shoot somebody, and then nobody shot him. He just walked away with it in handcuffs and zip tie. You know, but all that is for something. Esau is moving really just reckless at this point because because he knows he has but a short time. So he's trying to hurry up and just do stuff. He's just trying to do it. But it really just doesn't make sense. Like that whole story, when I heard that, I was like, huh? That doesn't even make sense. Because that's what the scriptures say. Do not be ignorant. Let's get that. Let's start off with that. And I don't got any scriptures, anything lined up. I'm already on Safari. What am I doing? What is that? Second 5. Or is it 2 Corinthians 2? Yeah, here it is. 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us. And I'll do this now, though. I'll split it. I'll split it and then we'll go. Oh, it's going a completely new page. I can't split 2 Safaris. Never mind. Okay. Let's go back to the article. Right? So what I was saying is we're not ignorant. Right? We know the goal. So every little thing that we see, we're catching on to it. And now all the Americans, right, and all the other people are starting to catch on to these attacks and all these things. Right? It says Trump urges extending a FISA program as some lawmakers push for privacy protections for Americans. It says Congress is set to take up the reauthorization of a device program that lets U.S. spy agencies pore over foreigners' calls, texts, and emails with supporters like President Donald Trump. It says saying it has saved lives, while critics point to long-standing concerns about warrantless surveillance of Americans, which they're already doing that anyway through your phones, right? Through all these cameras that you go when you're downtown or when you're in the city, right? All those cameras on people's stores and your phones and all those cameras and they're already doing it, man. Right now they're trying to act like it. Now they're trying to act like they want permission. Like you have a choice anyway, because they're already doing it, right? You talk about something, some food, and then the second you get on your phone, an ad pops up from that exact food that you was talking about, from the same exact restaurant. You just think some things sometimes, and it pops up on your phone. Oh, yeah, I was just thinking about that. You see, so they're already surveilling, they're already giving you personalized ads, and they're already doing these things. But it's a two-way street. So they're already doing these things, and we all know that, right? But now they're trying to act like they're the good guys and trying to get permission to do it, right? And they're using Trump to be like, oh, I'm going to give up my rights and liberties for the protection, right? And obviously he's saying that because there's going to be more and more things happening in America, right? That's going to justify people to give up their rights so safety can come back. Right, and we know it's going to get worse and worse and worse, man. They're just tiptoeing. That's what it's called, the totalitarian tiptoe, right? And the dude, like I said, the dude explained it in his video. Actually, you know what? Let's hear. For some reason, the spirit of like you just go to the video. Where am I going? Let's go. Let's pull it up. Right, just real quick. I'm just gonna play the intro. Your videos, right? Where is it at here? Let's see where it is. Here we go, right here.
And you'll see that
right.
Is another technique that I call the totalitarian tiptoe.
Totalitarian.
It's another
totalitarian. Right.
Perceptual mind manipulation technique. And that works like this. You are at A, and you know that your agenda is going to take the world to Z. But you know if you go from A to Z in too big a leap, the changes in society are going to be so fundamental that many people are going to look up from the game show and the sport and they're going to say, what's going on? Ethel, what's going on here? Look what they're doing. So you don't go in big leaps. You use the totalitarian tiptoe. You go as fast as you can, but not so fast that people start to see the pattern and realize that it's all connected. So you'll go from A to B, and maybe go to D if you can get away with it, and so on. But all the time, you're moving towards this Z goal, which is total human control. And I have this phrase that I use: know the outcome, and you'll see the journey. This is why it's crucial to uncover what the agenda's outcomes are planned to be. Because once you know that, you can see the stepping stones, the totalitarian tiptoe to those outcomes. If you don't know what the outcomes are planned to be, then all these events just appear random. Oh, something else has happened. Oh, that's happened. Oh, now that's happened. But there's no connection apparently between the two. But if you know what the outcome is planned to be, know the outcome, and you'll see the journey, because you'll see that these events, through problem, reaction, solution not least, are using the excuses to push us on to those outcomes.
The reason I stopped you is because...
Right, and that said perfectly. Right? So that's what's going on here. That's what's taking place. You know the outcome, and you understand the journey, however you said it, right? Or you'll see the journey. So that's what we're seeing here, being the watchmen, being the prophets, warning you, blowing the trumpet that these people are doing something to get them to Z, right? They're trying to get to this particular goal. They're trying to get to this particular point in time to where they're here and you're there, which is what? A reduced population, and eventually they want everybody to be chipped, right? Cashless, they're going to crash the society, no more physical paper money and so on and so forth. That is their goal, right? Get rid of your weapons and have everybody bow to the image. Bow to them, right? You're going to bow to them and you're going to take my mark, right? So that is the goal. They want total control. So obviously, when they're putting certain things in front of you, you have to understand, well, I know what you're trying to do. So obviously this is fake, right? And it's just how when Trump, they did that whole assassination thing, when he was giving that speech, when it hit his ear or whatever the case may be. If somebody actually shot at him, the Secret Service is not going to allow him to poke his head up while you guys are all surrounding him and lift his fist up. No. It would be immediately military. All these people would be on stage, scouting the area. He would immediately got put away. His head wouldn't have got shown again. Like, it's just all fake, man. And you got these people that's just eating it up. All these random shootings, assassinations, attempts at Trump. And then all these things happening in the world. Now I just watched the 1 minute news video that some small hat got stabbed in the UK. So it's like all these things are taking place. It's like, okay, we know what you're doing. And obviously Esau is going to run out of tactics to do things. So it gets corny. It gets corny. Okay, we know what you're doing, man. We know you're trying to do this. And then something, and they always do they're caught red-handed with something, and then they flip the script and point the finger at the nigga. Clay Thompson, Megan Thee Stallion, look at him, look at them wicked couple. You see, it's all they get caught and they gotta shift the focus so they can continue on what they was doing. Because when that Epstein files was coming out, they was on the hot seat. Esau was on the hot seat, man. But now them files are slowly starting to disappear. Ain't nobody really talking about them no more, right? You found out all the freaky shit that they was doing with kids and this, and then y'all just, all right, well, we know they're doing that. Let's keep it going. And I was actually just talking to a dude today, right? That he was getting upset with the way the country is going, right? People are finding out what's really happening behind closed doors, and they're like moving accordingly. The dude I was talking to, he was saying that he voted for Trump, right? And he pretty much didn't say that he regretted it, but he, in so many words, that's pretty much what he was saying. But he said, "Yeah, I voted for Trump." You know, Edomite older guy. He said, "I voted for Trump." He said, "But the way, pretty much the way the world's going, all the prices," and he's like, "I don't know, man." And obviously, I didn't talk to people in the world. You just keep it worldly. You don't, in the scripture, Revelation, and Jake would do that. You'd be like, "Come on, you're doing too much, man. Be wise." Plus, I was at work. I was a customer. So I'm not gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you the Revelation," or you ain't doing all that, man. I was like, yeah, I was like, things is just getting bad. I was like, a lot of people that voted for him are realizing that he's not doing pretty much what he said he was gonna do. But that's every president, right? So he's not doing anything new. He's not doing something that a president has never done before. All of them, before they get in office, they give you bread and circuses with them debating, throwing shade at each other, even though they're all friends. They all got each other number on speed dial. You ready to go get some pizza with the code word and jerky, and they doing all that freaky shit. Right? They doing all that. But they put on a show for you people and be like, they're against it one another. Right? But then after the whole debate on TV, then they about to go hang out. So it's all a show, man. That's all it is. It's bread and circus. It's something to keep you entertained, something to keep you talked about, and keep you focused on something else and not focus on them. But eventually it's going to be a point in time where all those played out tactics, right, that Esau is doing is not going to work any longer. Because people are starting to wake up now, right? Even the heathens, especially the American Edomite. They're realizing that, okay, he's not doing what he said he was going to do. In fact, you're making it worse. So now he's coming on with this. What do you think that means? What do you think that means, that he's saying he's going to give up his right for safety? What do you think what do you think that means? That at a point in time, it's going to get so bad that he's going to want you to do the same thing. And it's going to be a point in time where you're going to just have to do it. Even though like I said, they're doing it anyway with surveillance and all these things. But now they're trying to play the good guy and be like, okay, well, let's give the people the illusion of they're getting a choice on whether you want to be down with it or not. Because eventually they're going to try to make everybody do it. And then they always try to paint, even when they come with the narrative, they always try to make it seem like it's not as bad as it is, or we're going to use it for something else that we're not. Just like for a thing, it was a video. I wasn't going to do a video on it, but I ended up didn't do it. It was a video where a dude was going into the Ring cameras, and they were talking about how a certain amount of dogs go missing a year, but the Ring cameras, help find a certain percentage of those dogs and return them home. And I'm like, look, man, the Ring cameras is not for that. Even though, yeah, you can use them to see who's at your house, you got somebody in your backyard or your deer or whatever the case. That's cool for that. But obviously there's a bigger purpose behind it. Right? You got a camera, and everybody wants safety. Everybody wants to be protected. So a lot of neighborhoods that you go into, people have Ring cameras. Right? You're not wicked because you have one, right? But now you're giving the problem, reaction, solution is what they're doing. So now, since safety is a very 50-50 thing here in America now, I'm going to say 50-50, right? That danger is always right around the corner if something's happening. People are now openly just getting cameras, to putting it on your Ring, putting it all around your house. So now, instead of them having to surveil and spy on you, you're doing it for them. You're putting the Ring camera on there. Obviously, you can't see that much, but they can see when you get home, when you go to work, and all that footage is being stored somewhere. It's not only stored on your device. Just like how when you take pictures or you save videos or something, you just delete it from your phone or your iCloud or whatever the case may be. It's not actually deleted, man. There's some place that all these videos and pictures are taken that's being uploaded somewhere. Right? So all these people that owns all these companies and things, they can go back and look at any footage at any time that they wanted to. If you think that it's only being recorded and it's only going on your app or whatever, you're mistaken, man. You're mistaken. Let's keep reading a little bit more on this. This is a key provision of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act permits the CIA, National Security Agency, FBI, and other agencies to collect and analyze vast amount of overseas communications without a warrant. It incidentally sweeps up the conversations of any American who interact with those foreign targeted for surveillance. Right? Let's jump down here. It says the U.S. authorities says Trump calls for another extension of the program. It says U.S. authorities said the program, known as Section 702 of the law, is essential to national security and has saved lives by uncovering terrorist plots. Critics question what they say is dangerous infringement, it says, on civil liberties and privacy. But they don't care about those things. Right? But they're going to use it in the name of, we can stop the terrorist attacks before they happen because we have this technology. We're able to identify the people, look at their messages, listen to phone calls, and so on and so forth. So they're going to say it in the name of safety. And let's get he's in safety. Is it then sudden destruction shall come upon you, man? 1 Thessalonians 5:3. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Let's see what it says in NLT here. Let's just do this. NLT says, when people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, then disaster will fall on them as suddenly as a pregnant woman's labor pains begin. It says, and there will be no escape. This is the CSB. It says, when they say peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them, like labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. And that's what's getting ready to happen. Right? All more of these attacks going to happen on U.S. soil. They're going to do this and they're going to do that. But they're going to say, look, man, it's all safe. We're all funding. It's all good. We got it under control. Right? Whatever the situation is going to be. Right? And then, boom. Something worse is going to happen. Right, let's go back to the article. That's pretty much it on this. Obviously, you can read it. This is from PBS.org. The news: Trump urges extending FISA program. Just look that up. That part, and it'll just pop up. Is there anything more in this quote that he said? Let's see here. And eventually, we know they're going to do away with the Constitution. So that's what they're ushering in slowly. Right? Let's see what this lady says here.
Through the FISA extension in the dead of night, but it was soundly defeated by a bipartisan majority because it lacked real protections against unconstitutional spying on American citizens. Unfortunately, once again, today's bill fails to strike the correct balance between Americans' civil liberties and the need to collect intelligence on our foreign adversaries. Benjamin Franklin, a great Philadelphian, famously said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." Franklin foreshadowed the long-running tension in our country between trading away our civil rights for the illusion of safety. As we consider this bill, we should keep in mind the history of not just FISA, but of our government's illegal surveillance of U.S. citizens.
Right? And that was a quote from Ben Franklin, apparently. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. And it's true. You people are giving up your rights, and then she said for the illusion of safety, because essentially you're not necessarily safe in this place. It doesn't matter what you do or what you give up in this place. There's always going to be some type of conflict, some type of a conflict going on in this place where you're not really safe. Everybody can say do away with the Constitution, let it listen to you, and you're still not safe. Now you're really not safe, because now FEMA troops will come in, bust in your house, force you to take something. Force you to go, you want to take this or not? You take it or you die. Right? Those are the things that's getting ready to take place. Right? Because that goes back to the totalitarian tiptoe. you understand, you understand the outcome, you'll see the journey, man. And right now we're watching the journey of them trying to get to that point. But they're not going to be able to fulfill those things. The Lord is not going to allow that. Right? So that's pretty much it, right? About this whole Trump thing. Talking we should give up he's willing to give up his rights and privileges as a citizen for our great military and country. Right? And he's juiced in with the elites. So it's like, come on, man. But it's all a game, man. So that's all I wanted to say, man. Hope the lesson was edifying. Hope you guys